mange andre land. Og formålet vårt jo da å fokusere på Sunna og Koranen, gå tilbake til kildene. Vi veldig opptatt av å invitere gode og dyktige lærde, og vi veldig opptatt av kompetanse. Så alle de vi inviterer på våre arrangementer altså da eksperter i sine felter, og denne gangen her så har vi invitert Shaykh Abdul Aziz til dette arrangementet her. Så i går holdt han et veldig spennende seminar om kultur og religion, og i dag skal han holde om dette her med ekteskap. Så hvis dere har sett denne plakaten som har florert rundt omkring her i Oslo, men også på Facebook, så da temaene litt om dette med hva meningen med ekteskap, litt om hvordan islam ser på dette her, dette med hvordan man skal velge en ektefelle, dette med kjærlighet, litt om dette med arrangert ekteskap, men også hvor grensen dette med tvangsekteskap og skilsmisse og alt som har med ekteskap å gjøre. Så vil det også bli mulighet til å stille Sheikh spørsmål og svar. Så litt kort om hvem Shaykh Abdul Aziz da, så han født i Nottingham, og har også sitt opphav fra Jemen og Sør-Afrika. Også har veldig mange ulike grader fra ulike universiteter i Storbritannia, og jobbet også som rektor, lærer, konsulent, vært gjennom da ulike felter. Så har han også veldig rik kompetanse når det kommer til islam og studier rundt det. Og også skrevet flere bøker, og også veldig spesielt kjent om bøker, om sitt arbeid og bøker om personer med spesielle behov eller sykdommer. Så vi veldig heldige som har fått en veldig kompetent sjef til å holde dette temaet her for oss. Så vil jeg også bare informere om at det vil være en person fra Madina Institute som står ved utgangen der. Så kan dere stille spørsmål mer om arbeidet vårt, hvordan vi gjør det. Jeg kan også fortelle at alt det vi gjør frivillig. Og da det bare å gå og spørre, eller sjekke tak i noen som har sånne blå lapper, sånne merkelapper eller skilt med det. Spør spørsmål, så kan vi svare. Og så vil det også bli, så det også en annen person som står der ute i forbindelse med boka som Sheikh har skrevet selv. Så da vil det også være en person ved inngangen der, som dere kan da spørre litt mer om boka. Så regner jeg med at Sheikh vil også sikkert fortelle litt om den. Og så har alle sammen fått stensiler, der står det tidsplanen. Så da følger vi den. Det blir pauser, og da bare følger vi den planen der. Så det også fint om noen kan klare å trekke seg litt frem her. Det litt sånn manko på plass. Så hvis vi samarbeider litt. Ja, tusen takk. Flott, flott. Fantastisk. Ja. Then I'm just going to give the word to you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. So this is a little bit different to the courses that I would normally be teaching on marriage, because what I would normally do would be focusing around one hadith which encompasses a lot of issues related to marriage. But in this particular case, I was in effect sent a set of questions or a set of issues, 8 of them, and asked to talk about those 8 topics. So it's a little bit different to the way I would normally work, and for that reason I'm quite open to people redirecting around those 8 themes. So feel relaxed, and if you want to expand on a particular point, or you want to question a particular point, please feel free to just put your hand up and say, look, I want you to talk further about that, or I didn't understand that. Because I think it's quite important that we have this kind of open discussion around these 8 topics. And several of them I actually haven't prepared for. Because as I was going through my notes, I was thinking, well, actually, this needs discussion, this doesn't need text. And obviously some of them are textual, and that's where I'm more comfortable, because I have classical books where I can refer to and say, this word means this, and this means this, and this means that. So I'm going to try and get that mix between the two, and I hope that you'll feel free to just put your hands up and direct it any way you wish. perhaps then I should stop until people sit, because that's part of the reason why.
David?
Right, so the first question that was put to me, or on your title, was, what is marriage? So to understand what marriage is, you need to understand a very important concept, which is called asbab in Arabic. Asbab means the causes, or the reasons behind, or the means. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants something to happen, what does He do? إِنَّمَا إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُنْ فَيَكُونُ. If Allah wants something to happen, all He needs to do is to say be, and it is. So this is our belief, is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just needs to say something and it happens. However, that's not how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala works in creation. He creates things by what we call asbab, by means. A tree, He doesn't say to the tree simply, be a tree, and it becomes a tree, does it? What does He do? A seed lands in the ground, water comes down, the soil becomes moist, it grows, it comes out of the ground, water and sunlight make it grow, and it grows into a tree. And then a seed comes out from the fruit, lands in the ground, and a tree grows. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants a tree to grow, He has means, He has reasons for this to happen. Or He doesn't just happen. It happens in a series of, in a process. And these asbab, these means by which He does things, should be considered honourable. These are reasons why. If Allah wants you to be in Mecca for Hajj, you will be there. There's no doubt. This is what we believe. But how do you get there? Usually you take an aeroplane. Is that right? So there are means by which things happen. Okay, so what is the greatest of all creation? Not
Humans.
the tree and not the aeroplane. Okay, I'm just kidding.
Humans.
Sorry?
Humans.
Human beings. Humankind is the greatest of all creation. So whatever asbab, whatever means He chooses for those human beings to be created, must be the greatest means on the planet. Because the greatest creation is human form. And how does He choose, or how does human form get created, is by, in Arabic, what we call nikah. Nikah means the bringing together of a man and a woman in union, so that their union, them coming together, produces a child. That's the word nikah. The actual act of a man and a woman coming together in union is called nikah. Which is why when somebody says, I'm going to see the nikah now, it's not actually a very correct way to describe something, because if you say it in Arabic, it sounds really rude. Because nikah is actually the physical act of a man and a woman coming together. What you should say is, I'm going to witness the aqd al-nikah. The aqd al-nikah means the contract by which that process of nikah becomes blessed. What do we mean by blessed? It has Allah's sanction upon it, that He's pleased with that act of nikah. Because the physical act of a man and a woman coming together can be about any man and any woman. And that doesn't bring about Allah's pleasure. Even if it produces a child, it still doesn't bring about Allah's pleasure. Allah's pleasure is when that nikah, or the act of a man and a woman coming together, is done in such a way that it has dignity and honour and respect around what is going to happen as a result of these people coming together. And that's why whenever people might have seen me in lots of different situations, and if you saw me earlier this morning, I was wearing jeans, which I believe I have underneath. And then at sometimes you might see me wearing a thobe. But if I ever perform a nikah, aqd nikah, you will always find me wearing a white thobe and a turban. And I can remember going to one aqd nikah where I was performing a wedding, and I came in with a walking stick, with a stick and the full works. And I insisted that everybody refer to me as Shaykh Abdul Aziz, which is something I never use. It makes me laugh when people use the word Shaykh in front of my name, because I'm not a Shaykh. But on this occasion, you had to. Because what I was doing is I was bringing a man and a woman together so that their nikah, their union, can be blessed. And if I'm the one that makes it halal, so to speak, then that process of bringing these two people together needs its dignity, it needs its respect, it needs the whole package, so that we know that this isn't this isn't an ordinary discussion we're having here. This is something special. It's so special that the matai afterwards becomes wajib. What's matai in English?
Sweets.
Sweets. It becomes compulsory for you to have a party. Not because parties are fard by nature. It's a time where we celebrate this coming together of this aqd al-nikah. So the concept, the word nikah, that's what it means. It means union, but this specific union by which human form is created. And so when you go through all the things associated with this, you should respect them. If somebody invites you to a walima, you should go. Even if you can't stand the people. You should still go. Why? Because it's not about the people. It's about Allah choosing a means by which human form is created. Therefore, you should go. And if you can't afford a big party, it doesn't matter. Have a small party. Somebody asked me about dancing once. I see some people smiling. I think, oh, he's going to say something controversial here. Yeah, I'm going to say something controversial. The best dance party I ever went to was in the Yemen. And nobody would dance until the Imam started. He was the one that started the dance. And who was he? Who did he attend the ceremony with? The ceremony took place earlier in the day, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. 7 o'clock, everybody went to the wedding hall, and everybody's sitting there waiting for the Imam. The Imam comes in, they throw 2 swords on the floor, so that they cross like this, and then he comes and he starts dancing. And then he pulls his guest into, who happens to be some dude who's visiting from England, and the dance starts, and then everybody celebrates. That process of celebration, I just let you know the Imam doesn't normally dance, but on this particular occasion we celebrate. And that walima, that party, is part of this concept of this thing that's happening with bringing a man and a woman together is special. It is unique. The only other time that I wear a turban is when I give khutbah. On the Friday or on Eid. The rest of the time, it's not me. I'm not a turban kind of guy. But for these particular situations, this is something which is not ordinary. It's something which is divine. So that's the first meaning of the word nikah. And I hope you try and remember that term. The other word that's often used in Arabic is zawaj. Zawaj, which comes from the Arabic zawj, and zawj means one of a pair. One of a pair. So if something is only complete if you've got the other one, then it's a pair. Right hand, left hand. You define a right hand as a right hand because there's another one which is the left hand. Okay? So when something has is only complete or only defined by the other parts, then it is one of a zawj. So zawaj means to bring two parties together to make a complete entity. But they are complete in themselves, but they become complete as a pair by the union of two people. So that's why the word zawj is actually interchangeable, although most people in Arabic would use zawja for a female and zawj for a male. In the Quran it's actually used for male and female. Zawj is actually, the reason why is because the concept is about completion. Is about completion. And my other half, my zawj, she said, make sure that you say the following. So this part is from her. Okay? She said, don't think that just by getting married you become complete. Because I think she was thinking I might mislead you by that linguistic definition. And actually she made a very good point. Because the perfect zawaj is where a person becomes complete by the other party. But not every zawaj is perfect. And if I'm talking about the perfect scenario, she's implying that I might mislead you. And she's kind of right. And that leads us on to something else, because how does it become perfect? How do you become complete? It doesn't necessarily happen on the first day. It takes time. And so you might have a technical zawaj, a man and a woman coming together, but that perfection of the union takes time. And it might not be until many, many years later that you actually start to feel that pair. So that's something of the meaning of the zawaj, or the meaning